In the last call, is it recording or not? Oh, it's recording. Okay, in the last call, what did I say? I explained about lot of things, meaning I told theory. Basically, first 8 step wala I defined. Today we are talking about that 8 step only. What is that 8 step? Generally, these are the 12 steps, which is define the problem, collect the data, explore clean data, feature engineering, split data, select model, train model, evaluate model, tune hyper. Out of this steps, 12 steps, minimum is 5, which I told data splitting के लिए few models will be there, all those I said. So basically you have to give the collect the data is nothing but you have to input the data. Then what is the result you want? Then labels. Then I said in labels only you have multiple classifications which one to do, whether you want in a 0 1 or a pass fail or multiple categories grades, or depending on your problem statement you will get. Then models means I explain the entire machine language PPT, which is all models like decision trees, binary, like regression, in classification, multiple. These are the different models you have. Under classification, 10 are there, under regression, few are there, under clustering, few are there, under dimensional reduction, few are there. So, all models I explained as in a machine language. Then these are the few of them to do it. Then finally, you have the prediction types are these types. When to use what I explained, which is the last slide, which is binary classification. When you want logistic regression, random forest, SVM, KNN will be used. When it will be used to predict if the customer will purchase a product or not. So you want to say yes or no, whether he buys or not. By following this, you will find out the accurate. Now, slowly, all these are the different categories which I explained, machine language categories. And then I told problem type. For which problem type, which model is recommended. You can do no need of do selecting only one model. You can select multiple models. And then why also I have explained here, and a small example, detect a credit card fraud or not. So for that, you have to use one class SVM and detect outlines. Here, what happens is you will use directly the method, but you will not know the logic behind that method, which is the specialization course, meaning what it is happening. You know what to use because I have recommended when to use. If you type in a Google or anywhere, I have this problem, which model to use means it will give you the answer. But only thing is why you are using in your mind, it will not be registered and you can't remember. That's a linking. Basically, that's a linking where you can challenge the AI, or where you can challenge the something which is Google prompting or something. If you challenge only, most of the time for me, Perplexity or ChatGPT, when I'm doing this kind of work, it prompts me in a wrong answer. I will keep challenging the thing. What happens? Like me, like multiple people are there. They keep challenging. This is not right. This is not right. When I say it, what happens? It stores that data. What is Chat GPT or any GPT? Could be Perplexity or what is that? Gemini AI or anything, any kind of that. What happens? It takes the prompts and it stores, and the people working for that correction and perfection, they take these problems and they correct the same problem. When I challenged example, multiple challenges I have done from last 1 year, because when I do practically on paper it's different, and when I compare with the chat gpt whether I'm doing right or not, it gives me wrong. So I keep telling why, how, what, when, I keep asking that. So what happens, it corrects. Now it shows me wrong and it says me sorry. Then later, after 5 days or 10 days, if I try to do it, it corrects and gives me the answer. That means the developers, whoever are monitoring, they are collecting the data and they are feeding into a right format. Meaning after 10 days. See, example, you also do in Gemini, you ask one question, you give the output. Next day, for example, third day or fourth day, if you ask, it gets upgraded. updated. You will get new formats, new thing. So every day learning is there for ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or any AI tool. It could be a video maker also, or it could be audio maker also. Anything, always the enhancements are keep coming into the AI world. So it is evolving and changing. So why did I explain that means, because today you are seeing these many methods. Tomorrow you can see few more added. It is not that it was removed. These are not removed. These things will be added. Addendum keep happening is what I'm trying to tell. Okay, today completely about what is that? Whatever the 8 steps we have recommended, I am planning to explain you over the example with practical. I explain how to clean the data, how to collect the data, everything. If you take earlier all examples, so you might have understood that list. I have meaning. I will explain with the example, then you will understand. So now, what is a tool I told for using this ML AI? I explained in one of these slides where SkyKit is available. So, lot of theory. So, you might not remember. For you, I wanted to. mm, where Scikit Learn fits in the ML workflow. Where all data loading, you use the pandas, cleaning also pandas, and also I told few cleaning concepts also. If you remember, only cleaning PPT I have told and shown the example, dot delete, dot white spaces, all those also I said I can do it again if you want. Cleaning also, feature selection. From train split, you use the Scikit Learn. These are from train, split, modeling, training, prediction, and evaluation. For these steps, you use the scikit-learn, which is nothing but one more library. Okay, now let me explain simple example. Then, okay, now let's understand this. What is our problem statements? We want to classify fruits into categories based on weight, grams, color score, size, diameter, and cell. So, what is our problem is loads of fruits are coming, which similar in apple only, similar apple, London apple, lot of varieties you get. Okay, depends how you are differenting, you are running in the background. It is not like in a shop. Lot of fruits are coming for loads of people, from crores or billions of people. It is supplying from one country to the other country, or exporting, importing. Lot of things are happening. But in the background, how to label, how to categorize, that is an apple, that is an a pear, or that is an a, orange or an a grape. Okay, if you boxes will come by seeing the shape and all those, you have to identify. So what we were doing, we want to classify fruits into categories based on the weight. First parameter is weight, then color, meaning higher red, more red, something like that, 0 to 1 U, and size in diameter. Okay, diameter in centimeters. So our type is what? That is a problem statement. You can take multiple problem steps. I'll explain another product example for now. For today, for now, this is the example. Now, what is your target variable? Meaning which is I told. Meaning which one you want. 0 means apple, 1 means orange, 2 means grape. Meaning earlier I told in the binary 0 1 means you will use regression. If it is an multi-class classification, this is more than 2. 0 1 is not there. 0 means apple, 1 is orange, 2 is grape you are doing. So machine languages types are supervised. Under supervised, you are using multi-class classification. So that is the machine language method you are using. Algorithm. Under that, what is that you are using? Random forest classifier you are using, which is in the scikit-learn library. All machine language methods are there. Around 60 machine language methods, algorithms are available. So for your problem statement, which is, it is not that only this works. You can work multiple. Once you understand all algorithms, all 60 algorithms, you will understand when which one to apply. So random forest, meaning random is nothing but picking randomly depending on your algorithm, on your input. That is about the random. Now, what is our first step? To import required libraries. What all libraries we have? So basically, first, sky, instead of writing multiple things like this, you can just say import skykit, meaning all will come. I have done like this separately because to understand what is that all we want to. So import pandas. Pandas is for declaring the list, etc., and using the data frames. Pandas is used for what? Data frames. What are data frames? Which gives the data in the rows and columns. When you numpy means which you use the median mode or something like that. Skylearn model selection, import train test split, meaning I told this also in your class to class how to split the data, train test split. And standard scalar, meaning import, this is also for pre-processing in data cleaning and all those. I have explained this standard scalar. And random forest classifier is nothing but it is your machine language model, basically an algorithm. Accuracy score and classification report, which I explained you. After evaluating, you will put under accuracy score and classification report. So these are all you have to specifically pull the things. If you wanted something, uh, only everything, meaning you can use directly skykit, import skykit completely, you can get. Now what is the next step? Once we import the libraries, our next step is sample data. What is our method? Sample data. Here, if you take sample data means weight is 150 grams, 170, 140. You are putting in a list, square brackets you used, and you used this into a curly brackets. Curly brackets is means what? Set. And under set, you have put in a list for each one. Weight, colored score, size, fruit. This I'll explain clearly. For 150, color score is 0.8 and size is 7. Then you are declaring fruit is apple. Okay, for every data you have apple, apple, orange, orange, depending on the score you are giving. Meaning, depending on your logic, you are give here. This is a random data I gave. Basically, you have to divide what is. See, I told you your problem earlier. So, depending on your weight, meaning from this weight to this weight, if you have, you need to decide it is an apple. From this color to this color, you need to decide it is an apple. And similarly, diameter. Like that, you have to decide in your logic only. On top of it, I have given if it is 150 grams apple. So, whenever more than wherever you have 150 apple and 0.8 and 7, if these combinations, if you understand the range, automatically you have to put mathematically from this range to this range I have given as a fruit. Now all these data, you have weight, you have color score, you have size, you have fruit, all these data you are putting in a data frame. So df is equal to, df is nothing but one variable, pd dot data frame you are putting for data. Which data? Whichever you have put. You have defined as a set. Set means it's a combination of all different parameters which inside it is given as a list. And that list you are putting in a row and column. Now, print data set, meaning it will print in rows and columns. Up to here, if this print is there, it prints only rows and columns. So far, step 2 done. Step 3, encode target variable fruit as a numeric, meaning you are saying fruit table. Fruit table is this, which is fruit dot map apple. If it is 0, you are saying apple. If it is 1, you are saying orange. 2 means grape. You are assigning that way what is a number to the variable. You are doing a mapping. Mapping means you learnt in your where lambda functions. In lambda functions, you use the map map function where it transforms the value from any string to value or value to string. If you remember, we learnt in lambda functions map, filter, and sort and reduce. If you remember, that functionality I am using to pandas. Pandas, in pandas fruit label I am defining and mapping. If apple means you give 0. If orange means you give 1. Grape means 2. I am declaring that it's another kind of a variable I am saying. Next, now, as a step 4 in your 8 steps, I said X and Y should be clear. Meaning, earlier, first step is to import. Second step is data. Third step is you are printing that data into any rows and columns. Okay, that is not a step. Then this is important. You are differentiating the output to bring 0, 1 or 2. And here you are saying now x, y variables. These variables define your target. Basically, X means weight, color, color score, and size. Y means your type of an fruit. What is your type of a fruit? Either categorization. So here you are doing the always Y is your categorization. X is the how you are arriving to that. Okay, X and Y. Different example, different it works. For this categorization, X and Y are there. Then feature scaling. Scalar is equal to standard scalar, meaning you are transforming that X. What is X? Weight, color, and size. You are trying to fit that feature scaling, meaning these are my features. I am fitting that X value. What all X values are there? Meaning all the data, whatever you have 0, 170, 180, all those, you are giving that to an scaled variable by using a method called standard scalar. Okay, next. I told the other step to do it after X, Y, after labeling. We did labeling as 0, 1, 2. That is called, I will compare the 6 methods later. So labeling, after labeling, splitting the data, I said. Why? To train, we won't test the entire data. If you are putting the CSV file or something like that, you won't test the entire data. You test only 80% and 20% and 80% you will predict it, meaning automatically. So for that, you have to test it. So into training. So for every X variable, one is for training and one is for testing. So two variables. So what you are doing, X train, X test, Y train, Y test, meaning X and Y only you have to test, right? Weight, color score, size is your X and Y is fruit label, meaning what type of a fruit. So for X train, X test, meaning you are splitting the data, entire data into two by what percentage? 0.3, meaning if you have 10, 0.3 only you are testing, means 30% of 10%, 10 items you are doing. So 3 values only you are testing. What is your test size is 3 and you are using a method called train test flipped. If you remember, I explained for what how to split is the keyword is train test split. If you remember, if you go back to your PPTs, you will understand that. Then I am saying X scaled and Y both. X scaled means here I have put fit transform this value to this. That's why I use that variable. Then Y is nothing but what is that? What type of a fruit is. By what is your size of data to test? 3 size. And what is your random state, meaning taken a random state, meaning it is randomly you choose the values or whatever it is. Okay, next, train random forest classifier. This is what the actual ML model you are using. So if you remember, uh, sorry, if you remember this PPT, you learned lot in yesterday before class. So we are using regression continuous output. under classification, if you remember, in this random is not random forest regressor is there here. This is for regression, meaning if it is in a continuous data, if you remember, I told for continuous data. For classification also, random forest classifier is there. This method I am using. Algorithm is random forest under classification. What did I say under classification means? More than two outputs, meaning either pass or fail or win or lose or binary 0 1, more than one, more than two results if you want, then you will put it as under classification. Under classification, I'm taking random forest classifier as a method. Hope I am able to relate to that whatever I told. So now this is a model as a step 7. It is very difficult to remember so many things, but if you practice, it will become easy. Okay. Model is equal to random walk. For what? Estimators 100 and random state 42, meaning for the test data, and estimate is 100%, whatever it is. Now, after using the classifier, I said you have to fit that, fit keyword you have to use, which I told in your X train and Y train, meaning these are not the test material, X train and Y. After fitting, then it comes your prediction. You have a keyword. If you remember, I told these keywords. So these are the labels I am using. Input data means features. Same thing I used. Labels means what you want. I divided into 0, 1, 2 because categorization. What input X means? All features. What is that? Color, size, all those are features which I define. Then choose model. Here I did not use logistic regression or decision tree. These comes under the regression. I am using under classification random forest classification. Then train, fit the model on your XY, which fourth step is this. So where you are training, you are dividing the values X test, X train, and Y test and Y. Then you are using predicting given new X and ask the model to predict. Here I am using the after train classification, fitting transformation. I said I want the keywords to use. So these are the keywords. For data splitting, we use train test split. For scaling, standard scaler and minimum. For model training, dot fit we used. For prediction, dot predict. For evaluation, accuracy score, confusion, all these we used. So these only functions you will use in the entire steps. Whenever you are splitting, train test. So to first time it will be difficult, but second time, third time, if you start doing, it will be easy. Okay. Then predicting on test data you are using, you have the X test and Y test also. So first you are predicting for the X test, then model prediction you are saying predicted. So you are predicting the X test value 20% and putting in the predicted. Then actual values you are giving predicted versus actual. So actual values are this and predicted for this. Now evaluate. Evaluate means model whether that ran correctly or not, whether it is there or not, all those you are putting. So now, depending on this, now you have trained your model by giving an example. What you did in your initial classification, you gave 150, 0.8 as your diameter and then declared it as depending on your color, size, etc. You define that as to apple. Now, what I am doing, I am giving totally a new data. I trained the existing data, 20% data, whatever I have chosen. You can take 30% I have given here, 0.3 I have given. Whatever the data you split, you have done for your existing data, meaning for the history of the data you have done. Now, actual prediction comes here for any new data. ఎలక్షన్స్ ముందు అంత డేటా తీసుకొని ఇది వచ్చిందా లేదా అని అంటారు, కానీ కొత్త రిజల్ట్స్ కనుక్కోవాలి వాళ్ళు కౌంట్ చేయకముందే మీరు ప్రిడిక్ట్ చేస్తారు. అంటే ఇది ఇంత వస్తుంది, ఈ ఈ ఈ స్టేట్ నుంచి ఇన్ని ఓట్స్ రాగలుగుతాయి, ఈ స్టేట్ నుంచి ఇన్ని ఓట్స్, అంటే ప్రెడిక్ట్ డేటా ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ప్రెడిక్టెడ్. Now, you are giving weight, color, shape, size. And according to this, what is my new fruit comes under? So, applying the scale, same thing. You will apply new fruit scale. The earlier you used y variable and x variable, if you remember. So, model dot predict new fruit scaled, meaning scalar is transformed to new fruit. Then again you are using fruit map 0, apple, 1, orange, 2 group. Now real time result. Print the new fruit predicted. So fruit map prediction 0. Okay. Prediction is nothing but your here fruit scale. Okay. So I'm using the same variables if you apply. Now, according to the new this thing 160 0.8 7.2, according to this, whatever the coming into this range, what is the fruit? 160 and 0.8 and 7 point. You, ideally, it should be apple, I think, according to the data. So let's run. This is a process to complete one program. Wherever print statement takes time because it has to run with the logic, right? Apply all the models. So it takes time. So actually what is happening in the background, you will not understand until unless you understand. See, the new fruit is predicted as apple. Before that, what all we printed, wherever we used print statements, let's go and observe. We used print df, data set we used and print df. What did I said? Pandas will put the data in rows and columns. It printed. Okay. Now, then next where we used print, I will explain. Model prediction. So, predicted values 2202 and 2202. So both are same. So basically you have taken random values of uh, 0, 1, 2 or grape, 0 is apple, I think, 2 grape. So some data randomly you picked, that is what I said. You cannot know which data it is not applied. 30% of your data you applied. So it took and it given predicted and actual value. So accuracy is nothing but next print statement you used accuracy, evaluate model, meaning 1% accuracy and classification report. So what it will say is precision, recall, F1 score and support. This is something like you used what is the 0 means what is your precision value